And we're live. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are watching from today. You know what? We are super grateful that you are here with us, and we are very excited for what you're about to see in this presentation tonight. I'm Karen, and I'm going to be your host for tonight's event. Today, we're pulling back that curtain on the online world. For those of you that have always wanted to work for yourself and be your own boss, and for those of you that have always wondered how to get into the online space but don't know where to start, and for those of you that are looking for a way to create another source of income for you and your family, you are 1,000% in the right place. Today, we are going to introduce you to the most comprehensive online program that's out there. You know, one that has literally been designed by the expert to help the everyday person get up and running with their own successful online business. The best part of this is what we are showing you today is a system that's been around for years and has already helped thousands of people get up and running with their own online businesses. You know what? It's not new or untested. It simply works. And I'm super excited for each and every one of you here tonight. And I can actually see that there are already hundreds of you joining us live tonight. Welcome. Because guys, not that long ago, I was actually sitting exactly where you are tonight. I used to be you. You know, prior to starting this business, I was working around the clock, 7 days a week at a small dental lab that I own. And even with that, I only made enough to get by. And my biggest fear was not being able to provide for my family. So I ignored the stress and the exhaustion until I couldn't physically do it anymore. And not to mention that, not being there for my kids, I was missing out on many, many significant moments that were just eating me up inside. That's when I knew something needed to change. I wanted to find a way to supplement our income without sacrificing more of my time. And I had zero experience, no tech skill, but everything changed when I found this program. This is where I learned what I needed to know. This is where I found a system that was already built for me and has an entire team that runs it for me. This is where I found a mentorship community that not only trained me, but supported my personal as well as my professional growth to become who I am today. And today my reality has forever changed. I have been working online for 3 years, and I actually run a very successful online business. And yes, it is legitimate because I pay probably way too much income tax than I prefer. And I'm also a part of a mentorship community that helps people get into the online world. So that's why I'm here tonight. So what do we have in store for you? Well, tonight's presentation is broken into two parts. The first is an overview of our program and what specifically it helps you with and why it's so important. In a second, I'll introduce you to my counterpart, Mike and Garrett, who are going to walk you through that presentation. And then in the second half is devoted to the users of our platform. If you've ever attended one of these live events, you know that we like to get fresh new faces on here all the time so that you can hear straight from the source, what kind of experience people are having on this platform. The advantage of us having such a large user base as ours is that we're able to bring you a constant stream of fresh users to hear from so that it doesn't matter if you're here for the first time or if it's even your 10th time. You can still get a fresh first-hand account with the program. What can the program achieve for you? So now, before we get started, I encourage you to get comfortable, grab yourself a glass of water, some paper and a pen. And while you're watching tonight's presentation, I encourage you to jot down any questions that come to mind. And then I recommend that you reply to that email that we sent you earlier with the link to join us live. There's going to be a mentor that's going to be more than happy to help, answer any of the questions that you may have. So now, without further ado, it's my great pleasure to introduce to you Mike and Garrett. That's going to get us started.
All right, thank you for that introduction. Guys, this is it. This is the presentation that everybody's been talking about. This is the presentation that has already helped tens of thousands of people. And this is the presentation that will help you tonight. I am super excited that you're here. I am going to get right into it, folks. My name is Mike, and I'm one of your presenters. I'm going to pull up our slides so we can get right into this thing because I don't want to waste a second. Bear with me while I'm doing this. You might want to grab yourself that pad and pen, maybe a drink, a glass of water or something. And as they say, let's get the show on the road. All right, here we go, guys. So tonight, it is absolutely all about you and about your online business. Now, you might be asking yourself, who the heck are we? Why are we doing this show live in the first place? Well, folks, it's like this. I've been doing this presentation for years. We do it live twice a week, every week without fail, because in our mind, there's no better way to help people help themselves than to give them the means to do so, right? I mean, I'm sure you've heard that expression, give a person a fish, feed them for a day, teach them how to fish, and you will feed themselves for a lifetime. Well, it's like this, guys. By giving you the means and ability to build and manage your own business, you've now got the control back in your hands. You are now back in control of your fate. And that's a pretty big deal. As a business coach, I think that's the ultimate gift. That is the best way to help people. That is why we're here tonight. Now, how do we help people specifically? I'm glad you asked. It is with a comprehensive program, guys. Perhaps the most comprehensive program that exists in the online space still to this day, because it includes everything you need to really get up and running with your own successful business. It includes all the sales tools, the systems, the training, the mentorship. Heck, it even includes the right products for you to get plugged into so you can minimize that whole startup phase where so many businesses struggle, and you can build momentum as quickly as possible and really start to see results as fast as possible. And what I'm most proud of here is the fact that still to this day, in fact, more now than ever, it doesn't matter if you've got a business background or any kind of technology experience, this can still work just as well for you as anybody else. All right. So I hope that it gets you excited, because this is going to be an amazing, amazing presentation. And in order to make it amazing, I need to pull on some help. And you guys are in for a treat, because today Garrett's coming on to help me do this. And guys, a little bit of a prequel here. Garrett, he's nailing it in the online space. So you're in for a real treat tonight, because this guy uses this platform, has been for years, but he's changed his whole life and his family's life with this program. So Garrett, my friend, get on here, introduce yourself, and let's get into this.
And thank you, Mike. Hello, everybody. My name is Garrett. I've been working online now for 4 years with my wife. And really, we've been very successful. We are living our dream lives. We both left our old careers. We work from home or from anywhere we are, really, at this point. And truly, we've done very, very well financially as well. So things right now are fantastic, but they weren't always. We really did come from nothing. Before I was working online, I was in the Navy for 12 years. And there was a certain point, I kind of look back on the last 10 or so years of my life, and I'd done everything right. I ticked off all those boxes on the life checklist, right? I graduated high school. I went to university. I got a really good, stable career in the Navy. I met my wife. We had a son. We had a daughter. After all of that, though, after doing all these things that you're apparently supposed to do, somehow it just didn't add up. We didn't have money, right? So I'm basically sailing around the world for months at a time, going to really interesting places, but gone for a long time. My wife is working, serving tables full time. And basically, we're both missing out on being parents. We're both missing out on being husbands and wives to each other. And just so we can barely stay afloat financially. And we're both shocked it took us so long to realize this. But once we came to terms with the fact that we were going nowhere, we really took action and we changed things for ourselves. There was a real kind of a line in the sand moment, where we just said, what we're doing is not working, right? So we started looking for other ways to make money elsewhere. And we turned to the online world and found something that actually worked. And that's what we're going to be talking here today about. We worked our butts off, right? We worked really, really hard to the point where now I'm making more in a month than I used to in a year in the Navy, right? And the best part of all of this is that that's not uncommon here, right? We have hundreds of people who have done the same thing, who have quit their jobs. We'll get into that in a little bit here. For now, let's get into what we're going to cover today, okay? More than anything, I think it's really important that you get the message that this is something that anybody can do, okay? I had no idea what I was doing when I started. I'm not a tech whiz, no working online experience, right? We have people from 20-year-old college students all the way to 65-year-old grandparents running successful businesses online with us. It it kind of comes down to the fact that if you have Wi-Fi, if you have a connection to the internet, then this is something you can do. Okay, we're going to actually show you how to start your business, how to become successful in it, and we're going to help you through the whole process as you go. Now, you've probably noticed a lot of people around you have been turning to the online space, maybe to earn a secondary stream of income, maybe to replace their primary one. And I think it's important to have a look at why that is, though. You know, I mean, we can all agree probably COVID-19 changed everything. But there was a point there right in the middle when everyone was locked down where it came down to the fact that if you weren't able to work online, you weren't able to work, period. And a lot of people who assumed they had job security found out the hard way that they didn't. I mean, and don't get me wrong, you know, the world was already moving towards doing everything online anyways, right? But the pandemic and the lockdowns and the quarantines and all the stuff that went with that, it really just added fuel to that fire. And now everything is moving online, right? We've been moving online for years, but now everything is online. And that's really just because the internet's better. It's faster. It's a heck of a lot cheaper to run a business online than anywhere else. Now, I really do think still the best part of all of this is that this is still new, right? You're getting in at the beginning here. The internet's only 30 years old, give or take, right? And that's really nothing in the long term. I think we can all agree that the internet presents a massive opportunity. I mean, just imagine where you'd be if you'd invested in Amazon in the 90s or if you would invested in Microsoft in the 80s, right? You'd be a millionaire or a billionaire by now. Look at the three richest people on the planet, like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all those guys. They're all in technology. They're all in internet and software, right? That's how powerful technology is. And don't get me wrong. I mean, our results are clearly smaller than theirs, but we're all making money in the same way, right? Where we're using technology and we're using the internet. And I think our results really do speak for themselves.
Absolutely, they do. You know, when you've got a community now that spans the entire globe of users on a platform, that does speak for itself. Folks, look at this screen here. I mean, these faces speaks for everything, right? These are all different walks of life, all different ages, ethnicities. Everybody is using this thing. Doesn't matter where they come from or who they are. And what we've learned from COVID is that the internet is really the safest place to work right now because you can't get sick from the comfort of your own home, right? And I think, you know, there's been a lot of tough lessons that have come out of this pandemic, and the opportunity and the advantage of working online is absolutely one of them. So for those of you that are wondering if this is for you, a resounding yes, guys. I mean, after all, it's the 21st century, right? I mean, odds are you've probably bought something online by now. If you haven't, you are definitely one of the rare birds. And so here's a question. If you're spending money online, why shouldn't you be making money online as well? And also, there is this fact of the pandemic, right? A key lesson out of COVID has been the importance of having backup plans, plan A's, plan B's, and also having an income stream that you can actually manage from home if you need to or want to, I think is an even better way to put it. You know, I will say, putting aside the pandemic and the 21st century, my personal experience, I have got to tell you, I mean, nothing has ever scratched the surface out of all the careers I've had of working online, because as a business owner, I can just engage so many more leads and customers online than I ever possibly could through a little traditional brick and mortar business. I don't care how big your business is. You're always going to be limited by how many people you can physically fit in your space, right? Well, a website can deal with hundreds, thousands of people at a time. Suddenly, you can scale your business like you never could before. And what I love about working online is that it also allows me to use technology, because if I can automate some of the parts of my business, it means I don't have to be in all places at once. I don't have to be all things to all people anymore, and everything doesn't fall on my shoulders as the business owner, right? Suddenly, if I can automate things, use technology to replace people, it reduces my overhead. It makes running a business a lot easier and a lot more affordable. And here's the toughest lesson I've learned, guys. It doesn't matter how rich you get in life, you can never buy back time. So it is critical that you are spending your time doing stuff you love with people that you love, not spending it with people that you don't even like on a rusty old boat like Garrett used to have to do. But here's the deal, guys. You know, if we can help you make money online, but also find some time online, I think we have absolutely done a job well done. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about here tonight.
And I just want to be clear here too. This is not a get rich quick scheme. The world is so chock full of those right now. You can't get through your newsfeed without seeing 15 people telling you they're going to be a millionaire tomorrow, right? And we're actually proud to be telling you, probably the only people online telling you we're not going to make you a millionaire tomorrow. Okay, this is a legitimate business, right? I'm a real guy. I have a real business, and I'm getting real results. Now, don't get me wrong here, though. I'm not your everyday guy either, right? This was not my backup plan. This was my plan. This was the thing that was going to change my life for me and for my family, and that's exactly what it did. You know, we've been working online for 4 years now, and one thing I can guarantee you is that our system works if you work it. Okay, I'm living proof of that. All those job quitters a couple slides back, that's a tiny cross section, but they're living proof of that as well. Our system is solid. Our system is tested. It works, guys. The only variable here is you.
And, I think when you put it that way, it probably makes a lot of people quiver in their boots. But for those of us that realize that that's where the opportunity lies, it gets us really excited. I mean, me personally, I've always hated the fact that being an employee means that somebody else controls whether or not I'm going to get paid. I've always hated the fact that being an employee means that my potential is always going to be capped, because a company is never going to pay me as much as they can. A company is always going to pay you as little as they can get away with, right? So if you want to make your maximum earning potential happen, you got to work for yourself, folks. If you want to suddenly blast through the ceiling that is limiting you and holding you down, you've got to work for yourself, guys. And for those of you that have always wanted to work for yourself, but you know that you just need a little bit of help because you don't really understand where to start, or you're not really sure of all the ins and outs, you are exactly the kind of people that we built this system for. Because in my experience, a lot of people are capable of some pretty amazing stuff. They just need a little bit of help. And so what we do with our system is start everybody off on a solid foundation first. Building a business is kind of like building a house. You have to have a solid foundation in place before you can really get up and running and really build something amazing. And in the business world, folks, a foundation always has the same three key pillars. Essentially, you've got to find a product that people want, or even better, that people need. You've got to find a way to tell them about it and show them why they want it and why they need it. And then ultimately, you got to figure out who needs or wants it the most. Now, in the online space, the way you go about building a foundation like this with these three key pillars is very different than you would in a traditional offline world. And so what Garrett and I are going to show you right now is exactly how we take care of these three key pillars for you and ensure you've got that solid foundation to build your business on. So Garrett, let's start them off with pillar number one.
All right. So, everyone probably knows you can pretty much buy anything online, right? Just look around you in your room and you see clocks and chairs and stuff. You probably bought half of that online, and the other half you probably could have, right? It's a beautiful thing for us to be in a position to connect people with the things they want. And as a marketer, I want to find ways to do that and to make a commission on top. Now, the really, really smart retailers have capitalized on the fact that there are people like me and people like Mike who want a piece of that pie. So they set up these referral programs or affiliate programs that pay commissions to everyday people like us for marketing and selling their products online. If you look here, there's just a few examples of some of these retailers with these referral or affiliate programs. And look at the names here. The programs that these huge retailers have in place are the reason that they're some of the biggest companies on the planet, right? We've got eBay, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Apple, just to name a few. These guys are so successful because they're leveraging people like us, right? They're basically using us to do all the legwork and to sell their products for them. And we're happy to do it, right? So that's one way to go. Another way to find products to sell is by joining what's called an affiliate network. And here are a few of the bigger ones here. Now, what these guys do is they give you access to a variety of retailers that have their own referral programs. So they're a lot like the middleman in this equation. Now, I want to quickly direct your attention to the URL at the bottom of this slide here. This is something you might see when you're just about to buy something online, right? If you look at everything after .com, that's someone's affiliate ID, which means that someone's getting paid a commission when this purchase is made. Now, I'll tell you, I want that someone to be me, and you should want that someone to be you. I know Mike wants it to be him.
Well, and the reason we're showing you this, guys, is because this is how this works at its most basic level. You've really only got these two options. You're going to plug into an affiliate program with a retailer directly, or you're going to go after one of these networks. But the reason we mention the networks as we have is Garrett's already nailed it. They're basically the middlemen of the online space. And a lot of people, when they get into the online world, they assume this is the best route to go. But it's not actually the case. As a new business owner, your primary goal should be to really maximize your earning potential. You'll never do that working with a middleman, right? As soon as you make a sale, they're taking a bit off the top of your commission before they even send you your commission check. That's how it works. So if you want to make as much money as possible, you need to work directly with the retailer. You need to work with the retailer and create a relationship with them so that you can count on them and so that they are going to pay you all of the commission instead of sharing it with somebody else as well as you. And here's the importance of working with a retailer, guys. And this is one of the lessons we've learned out of COVID. Not all retailers are created equally, right? Think of how many retailers you've seen go bankrupt over the course of COVID. It was a lot. And so it's important that you're looking for retailers that are solid, that have built themselves to sustain difficult times like global pandemics. But it's also important that you find ones that are international, that can fill orders internationally. Because if you're working online, by default, you are now an international business. The internet has made the world much, much smaller. But the other important thing that you need to consider is not all affiliate programs are created equally either. So it's important that you're finding an affiliate program that is generous, that's very lucrative, that's going to pay you as much as possible. That's how you're going to get results that much faster. So the key with this is not wasting your time selling a whole bunch of trinkets and trash and lotions and potions. You want to find good products sold by professional retailers that you can count on, that compensate their affiliates in the most generous way possible. Good news, guys. We can save you a ton of time because we've already gone out and done the product research and we found that kind of retailer for you to plug into. This is how we maximize your earning potential. So pillar number one, check. Pillar number two is where we get into how we can show you how we can help you close some sales.
Yeah, I mean, we've identified the products. Now we've got to try to find a way to sell them, right? And this is where the sales funnel comes into play. When it comes to sales, there are really two ways to go. Either you go to them or they come to you, right? There's the traditional kind of salesy approach where you're actively searching out customers and it's handing out business cards and it's cold calling and networking events and, basically begging for business a lot of the time. And I tell you, that's a really hard path to take. That's not something that most people are any good at. And I know I'm not good at it at all. So that's not what we do because that's just way too hard. Okay, what we do is called attraction marketing. And that's basically when we're bringing the sales to us. All right, that's a way, way easier way to go. Now, attraction marketing, though, I'll tell you, it's useless without a sales funnel. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike for a little bit and get into kind of what that is.
Yeah. Now, guys, for those of you that have never heard this concept, attraction marketing, it's only due to the fact that the internet exists now. I mean, if you were ever in sales before, you know how different it was compared to today, right? I mean, back in the day, you had to convince people to make a purchase. You had to show them why they had to buy whatever it was you were selling. And that's why we all have these stories of pushy salespeople. But if you think about it now, when you're making a purchase, typically you're probably on your phone, right? I mean, heck, you can even buy cars and all kinds of stuff on your phone now. It's that easy. Heck, you can make a major purchase before you even get out of bed, right? And you're doing that without anybody pushing anything on you. It's really remarkable. That's what we mean by attraction marketing, right? The business is attracting you to make a purchase, right? You found that business probably on Google or Yahoo or Bing, or maybe you found them on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. All of these platforms, they're basically like a trail of breadcrumbs that you as a potential customer follows now to end up at a business where you'll ultimately spend some money. Now, how does the business convert you from being just a kind of a lead, a looky-loo, if you will, to actually becoming a paying customer? Well, that's where the sales funnel comes in. The sales funnel is basically a fancy way of saying automated system. So instead of the people at the business talking to you directly and saying, hey, you got to buy this. You really should buy this. Do you want to buy this now? Now the sales funnel is basically giving you all of the information, all of the details and resources you need to make an informed buying decision. You're basically the one with all of the power in your hands, right? So there is no pushiness. It's all about consistency and professional level of service. And the beauty of a sales funnel, of course, being an automated system is it doesn't sleep, it doesn't eat, it certainly doesn't catch COVID. And so that means 24/7. Now your customers are getting the same kind of consistent service. Doesn't matter if you're asleep or awake. Doesn't even matter if you're in front of the computer. That is the power of an automated system, guys. And I'll tell you, if you can get a system like this up and running consistently, it's hard not to start to feel like you're printing your own money.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have a sales funnel that's actually working like it's supposed to, that's what you're doing, right? You're putting in money and you're getting back more than you put in. And guys, I don't know if anyone's taken any business courses, but that is business 101, right? You want to make something where you put in $1 and you get back 2. Or like this example here, you put in 5 and you get back 100. But what's beautiful about what we're doing is that when you're doing this online, there are really no limits, right? With a sales funnel that's actually working, you should be able to put in 10 grand and get out 100 grand, right? I mean, who wouldn't do that, right? But you have to remember, this kind of thing only happens when you have a sales funnel that actually works.
And folks know this, there is not a single online business that is succeeding that hasn't got a sales funnel. It is the number one tool that will dictate their success. And just as important as it is for a business to have one, what I've also noticed is it seems to be also the single biggest hurdle to the everyday person for even cracking into the online space. I mean, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Anything online requires some technical knowledge because you got to build it. You got to make these things and you got to make them work. But in today's age, because the consumer is so savvy and so sophisticated, you got to make it look good and you got to make it work well. And so that also requires design experience, marketing know-how. And these 3 skill sets, the everyday person usually doesn't have all 3. They may have 1 or 2, sure, but very rarely all 3. And let's be real, guys, if you had all 3, you probably wouldn't be watching our webinar right now. So you are exactly the person we built this system for, because the fact that we've now got the system built up and running means you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. We've taken care of it for you. You don't have to be a tech guru. You don't have to have design experience. You don't have to have any marketing know-how, because not only have we built the system, heck, we even manage it for you. So you've literally got a whole tech department in your back pocket now, which means it removes all of that pressure from the equation. And it gets even better because we've also paired it up with really awesome training that gets you up to speed, gets you on top of your A game and keeps you there. And it shows you how to start bringing quality traffic to this automated system so that it can start to engage your leads on your behalf automatically and start to convert those leads to actually become paying customers, buyers that are putting cash in your bank. And I'll tell you, folks, having this kind of system up and running for you, managed for you, this is the kind of stuff that saves you thousands of dollars and a whole lot of frustration, not to mention finally putting the power in your hands to actually make yourself some money. I'll tell you, 99.9% of the people who work with us do so exactly because of the fact that they do not have to worry about the technical side of their online business. That is a beautiful thing. And what it really allows you to do now as the business owner is focus on the fun parts of your business, which is actually where we get into pillar number 3. So Garrett, I'll turn it back to you.
Yeah, so we found the products, we found a way to sell them, but now we have to find the people to sell them to. And this really is the fun part, guys. This is where the marketing and the targeting come into play. Now, I think it's important that first off, we pin down what we mean by traffic, though, and how important leads are, right? Leads are basically just the people coming to your business. And if you think about your local Walmart, for example, okay, let's say they have a parking lot full of people ready to go in and buy a bunch of stuff, right? Everyone gets to the doors and they find that the doors are locked. Well, in that case, Walmart has a whole bunch of leads, but they have no customers because no one can get into the store, right? So there's no traffic, which means there's no sales, which means Walmart has a really bad day. Now, that's all great, right? But let's imagine now that the same Walmart, parking lot filled with people again, everyone goes in, they find the doors are unlocked, thankfully, but everyone goes in and they spend $1, okay? And let's say just 10,000 people go in and spend $1 each. That's still a really bad day for Walmart, right? So in that case, what they had is the quantity. But what's really important in business, especially in online business, is quality. I mean, I would gladly trade 1,000 crummy leads for 1 quality lead any day, and I know Mike would too. And guys, we know how to get these quality leads.
And here's the beauty of this, folks. When you've got the right offer in place, which we do, and the system to introduce that offer to the marketplace, which we already do, and you start plugging in high quality traffic, that ultimately is the three-step equation that generates revenue. And that is exactly why you're here tonight. I know for a fact, right? I mean, at the root of it, sales basically comes down to one core premise. If you're going to be successful in sales, you got to realize all you're really doing is helping people, right? Think about it this way, guys. We all need or want something. If we could provide it to ourselves, we wouldn't need or want it anymore because we'd already have it, right? So it stands to reason that if we can't provide it to ourselves, we're going to be able to buy it from somebody else that can provide it, assuming, of course, we can afford it, right? And this is really all you're doing in business. You're helping people resolve their need, their pain point, some people also call it, right? And heck, all of you here, just to kind of hammer this point home, you all had a need or a pain point, which is to figure out a way to create a stream of income that you can run from your own home, right? So when you found one of our websites, maybe it looked like this, or maybe it was a different one that was offering you a chance to come to a free webinar, you took us up on the opportunity because this is where you're going to learn how to resolve your need, how to help yourself fix your problem, right? And I'll be honest, guys, it could have just as easily been us offering you something else to help a different kind of need that maybe we were charging for, and it would have worked exactly the same way, right? I mean, heck, maybe you walk your kids to school every day and every single day it rains and you get soaking wet. What's your need? Your need is an umbrella. And so be darned if suddenly that very afternoon, an ad for an umbrella pops into your newsfeed, because that's exactly how this works, right? These ads magically appear when you suddenly think you need something. Not exactly magical, but we'll talk about that later. But guys, all that ad is doing is offering you a solution to your pain point. So do you buy the umbrella? Of course you do, right? It's a $20 umbrella. How can you go wrong? And as soon as you do, you have solved your pain point. Somebody has helped you do it, and they're now $20 richer because of that fact. Folks, it doesn't matter if you're being offered a free webinar, a $20 umbrella, heck, even a $100,000 Maserati sports car. It's all about what people need or want. And yes, some people do actually believe they need a Maserati sports car. And Garrett will probably comment on that here in a sec. Garrett?
That's a cheap shot, Mike.
Sorry, buddy.
But that is really it, guys. Now you know, right? This is the exact system that I'm using, the exact system Mike is using, that all the people you're going to hear from later on are using as well. Right? We basically told you our secret, so why not just go off and do this on your own? And sure, you could, right? But you are definitely going to run into a couple pretty big obstacles, right? First off, it's going to take you forever to make your own sales funnel and to make it actually work, right? You need a whole bunch of different programs and software to all work together and talk to each other in the right way to actually produce the sales that you're looking for, right? And that's hard to do. It's taken us years to perfect ours, okay? But I think even more importantly, it's really going to cost you, right? These systems are pricey. We've actually put together a list here of some of the platforms that a lot of people are using in the online space. And these are really, guys, these are the basic kind of plain Jane platforms that people are using. And check these out. Look at the prices, right? This is not cheap software, right? We're talking $22,000 before you even start, okay? And I'll be honest, this is the short list, right? This isn't even everything you need. We didn't even bother listing it all because really, you don't need to know. Right? You don't have to do this on your own. We have built the system. We have it running. We're managing it for you. All you really have to do is plug into it, kind of skip all that hard stuff and really get right down to business.
And you know what, folks? This is really where the opportunity lies, because now you don't have to start from scratch. Now you don't have to start at ground zero. You can literally start at the summit of your success story because there's already a system in place with training. But it gets even better than that, because the fact that this system has been around for so many years and it's been used by so many people means that there's now a whole community of users that you can reach out to and tap into. These kinds of people that have the knowledge and experience that are already getting the results that you're looking for. People like Garrett here that you can reach out to and engage and mastermind with, strategize with, and share knowledge and experience with. That is a huge leg up. And that really helps you build that momentum in your business. And don't forget, guys, you, just like all of our people, you're starting off on that solid foundation that we provide. We've already gone out and done the product research for you. We've built the system for you. We manage the system for you. And we constantly update the training required to keep you on top of your A game in the online space. You don't want to have to figure all things out in the online world, guys. Things change fast very quickly. But the fact that we've got tens of thousands of people sharing information on a daily basis means that we can keep our whole collective, our whole community on top of their A game together. It's really powerful stuff. Putting all of that aside, I got to tell you, again, speaking as somebody using this platform, I love the fact that this thing is so automated. Obviously not 100% automated. I'm the business owner. I'm still running my business. But the fact that so many parts of it are automated means that it frees up my time. And it means that I can close the lid of my laptop, walk away from the computer, take the dog to the park, and my business doesn't grind to a halt while I do that. I used to own a small retail business, guys. I know what it's like. I know how exhausting it is. I know that it takes over your life and it becomes all encompassing. I wouldn't wish running a business in the offline world on my worst enemy because it's exhausting. It's grueling. It's the best way to make sure that you pay yourself less and pay and work more hours. It's terrible. But in the online world, it's not like that. Now this technology, these kinds of automations, they mean that we can get back to living life. And so this is exactly how we help families not only make money in the online world, but also find the time to enjoy the fruits of their labors. Guys, this is how we can help you. But I think at this point, it's probably the best opportunity for you to kind of hit the pause button on this whole presentation and really ask yourself probably the most important question of the evening.
And it's a very loaded question too. It's three simple words. Are you ready? But it means a lot more than that, right? Are you ready to step out of your comfort zone and learn how to do something that will change your entire life and change your family's entire life? Are you ready to stop letting other people tell you what your time is worth and be an employee? Are you ready to live life on your own terms and do your own thing? Right, guys, this is what we do. We create time freedom. We create financial freedom. We create life-changing online careers. I'd say if you're watching still to this point, you're probably ready. Okay. Now, Mike, I'm going to let you take over here for a bit and get into exactly what we're going to offer tonight.
All right, guys. So here's the beauty of this program. When you join our team, you get access to personal coaching and mentoring. Heck, you actually get plugged into a whole community built on coaching and mentoring, one that shares knowledge and experience, like I said earlier. And here's exactly how that happens. On a weekly basis, twice a week, without fail, we hold live masterminds over and above all of the other meetups and sessions that are happening, the training sessions that are happening. We make sure that every week the entire community has access to 2 live masterminds where people who are making 6-7 figures in the online space get on there, they host the event, they answer questions, and they share knowledge. They talk about exactly what's working, what's not working. They talk about new resources, new tools, new strategies, all of that is available to people so that you can charter your own path and really start to make your own results happen. Now, when you're not going to those masterminds or plugging into these other training sessions that are live, you're going through recorded training sessions. Training that has been broken down into step-by-step video modules so it's as easy as possible to follow. Heck, we've even included subtitles on these things. So if English isn't your first language, that's totally fine. You can read the subtitles while you follow along. But this way, you're watching the work being done in one video while you're doing the work on your own computer. We've tried to make it as easy for you as possible. And I'll say it again, guys, the reason this works for so many people is because of all of this, plus the fact that it also includes the products. There's so many training programs out there that they cut you loose on the world after you've learned a little bit of knowledge, and then they tell you, okay, now you got to go create your own system and go find your own products. Well, then what? Well, you bury yourself in further training and systems costs, training support, tech support, and products. My God, there are so many terrible affiliate programs out there that force you to bury yourself in overheads. You've got to buy a garage full of products that you'll pray that you're going to be able to sell someday. And so many people never do. And they end up with a garage full of product that they sit on for the rest of their life. But guys, it doesn't have to be like that. Remember, because we've already gone out and done the product research for you, we found retailers that pay the most. We found the retailers that fulfill your orders for you so you don't have to hold inventory. We found retailers that can weather the worst pandemics possible because we've seen them come through it now. And you want to work with that kind of retailer because if you don't, well, it can get very tricky really quick. And this is exactly where you start to benefit from our experience, guys. And, we take this really seriously. With every single person that joins us, we get on the phone and have a preliminary coaching call, at least 30 minutes long. Quite often they go longer. But for us, this is our opportunity to really get a sense of who you are and what your goals are. And we put our minds together to really come up with a strategy to get you going with your own business and start to move forward. And the beauty of this is once you do start going forward and you're in the community, well, you really quickly realize, yeah, you're a solopreneur, but you're surrounded by tens of thousands of other solopreneurs. So guess what? All of these people have been through the same steps you're going through now. So if you get stuck at any particular step, they can help you get unstuck. All you got to do is ask for help, and it's always available. And the beauty of all of our knowledge and experience being shared is that it's all stored in one central member website. Heck, even our live masterminds, we record those and store them in the same website so that everybody has access to all things at all times. It doesn't matter what country you live in, what time zone you work in, it's always the same content that's available to all of our people. And the fun part about this is what you're really getting up to speed with is learning how to harness the power of social media marketing. For those of you that think that Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter and YouTube and all of these platforms are really just about watching funny videos and entertainment, keeping in touch with friends and family, guys, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. It's a lot more than that. These are the biggest business platforms in the world. These are the things that have allowed businesses to not only survive the pandemic, but thrive during the pandemic. And the reason for that was because even though the business owner was locked in their home, you, the customer, you're locked in your home, they were still able to get in front of you and to engage you in such a powerful way, in such a humanistic way on these platforms that they could show you how they could help you solve your need. And what happened? Well, you took them up on the opportunity, you made your purchase, and they got a little bit richer during the pandemic. That, in a nutshell, is why social media marketing is so powerful in the 21st century. If you're going to work online, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You've got to know how to use it. And we will show you how. And keep in mind, you're not doing it alone. That's the power of this program. The fact that you now have a whole community of knowledge and experience to draw from, to ask questions of, to engage and to strategize with, that is a huge leg up, folks. I don't understand why anybody would ever want to get into the online space and try to figure it all out on their own if they could avoid it and to save all of that time and money and frustration. And I will say, the reason that our people gain the momentum that they do is solely because the platform's built for them, the platform is run for them, and they can mastermind and strategize with like-minded people. You've all heard the expression, if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. That's exactly what you're doing here, guys. And that's exactly how you see people like Garrett create such success in such a short amount of time. And in fact, Garrett, I'll just pull you back on you, buddy, and prove my point, because you already nailed it, right? You came into this with no online experience. And I know for a fact now you're mentoring hundreds, maybe even thousands of people all over the world in the online space, right?
Yeah, I never had a business before, right? No sales experience, no marketing experience, nothing like that. And Mike, I was one of those people that you're talking about. I use social media to look up old friends and look at stupid videos, right? I couldn't have even pointed out a Facebook ad probably. But I know without a doubt in my mind that I couldn't have done any of this without my mentors, right? And being in the position to mentor myself now, I can see what people need help with, and I can help them because chances are I needed help with the exact same thing, right? That's how it works for all of us. All the people that are going to talk here in a few minutes, they all have their own mentors as well. And I can guarantee that they are all better off for it, because what we're doing here is we are using the same system that you are using, right? Your mentor is using that same system, and they know how to work it because here you are, right? This is the system that let me leave a 12-year Navy career and spend all this time with my family, that's let me live the life I want to live, to kind of not waste my time doing something I can't stand doing anymore. But guys, I know what it's like. Right? I didn't have $20,000, $30,000 laying around to start an online business when I started either. Right? I was in the same boat as most people. I was driving around a beater van. Actually, the back door used to fall off every time we tried to open it. Right? We'd park a couple blocks away from the school and we dropped the kids off because we were just embarrassed, right? We were just flat out broke, right? I've been there, but I will never, ever go back because of this exact system, right? Because I didn't have to pay, $21,600 to start my business, right? That's really something to think about. So I think it's time we get down to brass tacks here. We've been talking a while now for what we do and how we do it and how really, anyone with a connection to the internet can do this too. But let's get to the offer. Okay, so here it is, guys. This is the offer of a lifetime. We're not going to make you pay $20,000 to start your own online business. We're offering you that chance for $149. Okay, and I want you to think about that. Right, $149. We're offering you the world here. Is it worth it?
1,000% it is. And folks, it has to be said, this is not a one-time, not a monthly charge. This is a one-time fee, right? We're not looking to sign you up to some kind of cheesy subscription program or gouge you on a monthly basis. This is a one-time charge. It's literally your backstage pass to changing your future if you want. And you might be asking yourself, well, how the heck are these guys telling me that, if I were to do this on my own, we're talking 20, 30,000, but I can do this, plug into this and get up and rolling for $149. And I've got all my systems and all of this training and everything covered. Well, it's very simple, guys. You're benefiting from volume buying. We are the biggest game in town because we've been helping people for so many years crack into the online space. We're an enterprise level solution that is used by tens of thousands of people all over the world. And what that means is because so many people are joining on a daily basis, it allows us to use that money to cover the cost for our members so that they don't have to pay on a monthly basis for all of these systems and services. They pay and they're plugged in and they get up and running and just have to worry about their business. That is exciting. For those of you that have ever been in business before, you know what an amazing opportunity this is that we're talking about, guys. And this is as simple as it is. For those of you that are interested in getting going and changing things for yourself, all you got to do now is click on that button that says join our team and pay your $149. And when you do, what we will do afterwards is send you an email because we want you to be able to go through this at your own pace. And this is really important. What we're going to start you off with is a series of videos to watch to really get you up to speed on this program and how it can help you. We'll walk you through exactly how the system works and how it's helping all of these people. We'll introduce you to all of the products that are involved and how they work. We'll introduce you to the compensation plans and how they pay out. We'll even introduce you to some strategies that people in the community have used over the years to really maximize their own businesses and really take things to a whole new level. All of that comes to you in videos that you can watch from the comfort and safety of your own home and at your own pace. Pause, fast forward, rewind, watch them with your spouse, your kids. Take your time. It's important content, and I want you to really sink your teeth into it. I don't want you to feel rushed. Now, while you're also watching those videos, guys, what we do is we plug you into our community so that you can see firsthand that we are real people all over the world, and we're using a real system here to achieve real results. And then when you feel like you're ready, comes the most important part. Then you're going to book your own one-on-one call so we can get on the phone with you with one of our coaches and really talk to you firsthand to really understand what it is that's going on in your life that has you looking to get into the online space and to really understand what your goals are for this new business so that we can come up with a game plan to help you achieve those goals. And please know this, guys, we take your success very seriously. Here is a system that is built on the core premise of transparency. All of our people at all times have access to everything they need to succeed. It's that simple. We bend over backwards on a constant basis to roll out new tools and technology to our members just to give them more control over their business and to give them more ability to generate revenue. And as far as the community goes, it's also built on one core thing, and that's respect. Folks, hear me now. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, what gender you are, what faith you are, what color your skin is, or where you live, or who you love. None of that is anybody's business but your own. But I can promise you this. Here's a community that will demand that you push yourself, that will expect you to be passionate and excited about your business, and will wait for you to ask questions so that we can provide answers. Guys, as a business owner, it's your passion and your drive and your initiative that will fuel the engine of your business. It doesn't matter how bad I want this or Garrett wants this for you. It only matters how badly you want this for you and your family. But for those of you that have always wanted to work for yourself, but you know that you just needed a little bit of help, guys, this is it. This is the chance of a lifetime that you've been waiting for. This is that thing that you have always hoped was right around the corner. Here we are, right here, right now, telling you live that if you want to start your own successful online business, you do not need to be a tech guru anymore. You don't even need to have a business background anymore because we will help you avoid all the mistakes that you would go through if you were to do this on your own. And imagine all of these people who've gone before you that have already got up and running with their own businesses that now you can tap into and you can engage and ask questions and strategize and mastermind with. You're going to make some relationships that will last you for the rest of your life in this community. People you would never have met if not for the fact that you're working online. Heck, I can travel around the world now, guys, and I know somebody everywhere I go. And it's only because of this massive community. Folks, if 149 bucks can unlock your future in the way that we're describing here right now, I got to think that you must appreciate why it's worth it. And Garrett, I'm going to pull you back on here just to really hammer home the point just before we head off here to make sure everybody understands exactly what they get for the money. And we should also mention how this is a totally secure transaction too, please.
Okay, so let's just break this all down first, right? First off, you're getting access to the product mix that's going to make you the most amount of money in the least amount of time. All right, we're giving you advanced social media training so that you can master really the most powerful marketing tool on the planet, right? And we're also giving you access to these weekly masterminds, and we're giving you personal mentorship throughout the whole process. Now, guys, how this actually rolls out here is that for every single person who joins this platform, you're getting plugged into a custom tailored part of our system. Okay, we define everything about this as yours. We position you as the expert. You are the person, you're the business that everyone wants to work with. We brand this as yours. And truly, that's why it works so well for our people. Now, there is a lot on the table already, guys, but I'm going to step it up just one more notch. Okay, I mean, for everybody right now, you know, we've crammed a lot into your head in the last 45 minutes or so, right? So it's probably got a lot of questions in your mind going on. So we're going to take all the stress off. Okay, we're going to let you check out everything for a full month, completely risk-free, which means that you're getting a full 30 days to decide if this is for you. If for whatever reason you decide it's not, all you have to do is ask, and we'll refund your $149. Now, there is one condition on that, and I think you'll agree this is pretty fair. All that we ask is you don't get your refund after you've had your coaching call. And really, the reason for that is really simple, right? Our coaches are compensated for their time out of that $149. And everybody's time is worth something, right? Your time is valuable. Well, so is theirs, right? So once you've had your coaching call and we've sat down with you and we've taken time to understand what's going on in your life and really come up with a plan that's going to get you going in your own business, well, obviously you're not going to qualify for a refund at that point. And I think that's pretty fair. But anytime within that 30 days before the call, all you have to do is ask. Now, you know what, guys, I'll close off by saying this. You know, working online with this system has literally changed every aspect of my life and of my family's life in absolutely remarkable and really truly unexpected ways too. If I hadn't clicked that button that you're looking at right now, I would still be in the Navy. Like Mike said, I'd be stuck in a rusty boat with a bunch of people I resent, right? I'd be missing my family. I'd really be going nowhere still. But instead, because we took a chance on ourselves 4 years ago, because we reached that line in the sand moment where we just said enough is enough. For the last, 4 years, I've been able to be at home with my family through the whole pandemic, right? We were safe the whole time at home. I've been with my family, and that's everything to me, right? And maybe this is your line in the sand moment right now, but really you won't know until you find out for yourself. So folks, once again, thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I'm going to turn it over to the rest of the presenters now so we can get to the kind of the fun stuff and hopefully see you on the other side.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? I still get excited when I watch that presentation. I'd sign up again in a heartbeat. Just to reiterate what Mike and Garrett said, that 149 is a bargain of a lifetime. You know what? I literally have an entire tech department working my business that takes care of all that techie stuff for me, so I don't have to worry about it. And I love that. And at this point, I'm running my business just from my smartphone. It's amazing. Okay, so now that the presentation portion is over, that brings us to the second half of this event. All of these awesome people that you see below me, they are all users of this system. You know, these people have generously given us their time today to come here and share their experience, you know, in hope that maybe you'll see some of yourself in each of us and see just what is possible. You know, none of these people had to be here today. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you for your time. And I'm just super excited to hear what you have to share. I'm going to go start off with Chris and Karen, and then we're just going to go right down the line so that we can hear from everyone. So Chris and Karen, the floor is yours.
Thanks very much, Karen.
Oh, I think we're still.
Thanks very much for having us on. This is awesome. We're Chris and Karen. I'm Chris. She's Karen. We're from Western Canada, in Alberta. Actually, we're just south of Calgary, outside of Okotoks. And I was a Calgary firefighter for many years, and Karen was a vice principal in Catholic elementary school here in Okotoks. Yeah, we joined this in it would have been early March of 2017. So what's that? 4.5 years or so? A little bit better than 4.5. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
And so why were we looking for an online business? Well, we had two good careers, and we had two careers that we both loved. This was our second marriage, and we have 3 adult children,
Yeah.
2 grandbabies, and we were approaching our 50s, and we built a log home when we should have been planning for retirement. So why were we looking for something extra? And it was just completely to prepare for retirement because we had dropped the ball on it. So
Yeah.
Here we were. We weren't looking to leave our careers at all. We were looking for that little extra something to prepare for retirement.
Just a little bit extra.
Just
right?
a
Yeah.
little bit extra. We were not planning on leaving our careers. After a year in the business, that's exactly what happened. I ended up retiring a little bit early because we were making enough that I didn't have to work. After the second year in the business, Chris took a year's leave of absence, and we wanted to put our money where our mouth was and prove that we could do this business anywhere. So that's what we did. We traveled for a year to see how we would do and loved it.
It was awesome.
So
Oh my
then
God.
Chris retired completely after year 3. So here we are, 4.5 years later, we're completely retired. Hadn't planned on that. We were just looking for a little bit of extra. So-
Jensen, Garrett, and Mike often said, and even Karen referred to it, 0 technical skills. I mean, I went online to check hockey scores, and, I couldn't even spell Wi-Fi when we got started in this, right?
Mhm.
And so when we got in, 0 knowledge, right? And we're just very simple, average, everyday Canadians, and much like many of you, wherever you're watching this from. And we made it work.
Yeah. And I think I'd like to add also, I was very, very skeptical. And to be honest, I didn't want to do it at all. Chris went to the webinar first, and then he told me about it. He paid the $149, and then he told me about it. And I did not want to do it. I really didn't. But what he did say to me, and I agreed, he said, let's get all of the information and go to that coaching call and then make the decision. And that's what I encourage you to do. Get all of the information first and then make that decision. So there was no pressure. We went on the coaching call and there was no pressure at all. In fact, I think we did 2 coaching calls. We called back again because we had more questions. And so that was the best thing we did.
And I think I told you this too at the time, Karen. Like, I think being skeptical of something is a sign of intelligence. But to stop there isn't. I mean, you really have to peel the onion and have a look at this. We did, and my goodness, for $149 to access what you get with this, it's incredible. It has changed our lives. Our best day in this business was over $30,000 Canadian in one day. I mean, my goodness. No, that's not. It was even more than that. Anyways, it was a terrific day, and our best month, was a lot higher than that. But we've been doing this for quite a while, and we've had great success with it. And all we're doing is following the system, you guys. Like, you can probably tell by listening to us speak, we're not rocket science. Well, scientists, but she probably is closer than I am to that. Anyways, thanks for letting us chat here. It was an honor to be on here.
For sure.
I wanted to do a screenshot before we let this go.
Yeah,
So we can
okay.
put this. Okay, give me 2 seconds.
I just want to
gonna do a
say
screenshot.
the $149 was worth the coaching call.
Okay.
It really was, because we talked to the coach in person, and that's, we're smiling.
Smile
Okay.
at the camera. Ready? There we go. Okay, that's going on our page. Thanks very much. You
Anyway.
guys are beautiful.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Chris Karen. That was amazing. I've listened to your story before, but I still get so excited to hear it again. So next we're going to bring up Gwen Doe. Come on.
Right. Thank you so much, Karen, and thank you everyone for being here. Hi everyone. Xin chào mọi người. My name is Gwen. I am originally from Vietnam, and I'm currently living in California, USA, the sunny California. So I previously had a career in traditional advertising as a media and marketing specialist. And after working for a few years, I was disposed, just like the rest of everybody who holds a job. When the company doesn't need you anymore, regardless how hard you work, how much time you put into it, how dedicated you are to a job, you will always be disposed because maybe you're not of their interest anymore, right? So I knew that then that the only way for me to control my life and not be in that position anymore is to become my own boss. And my family was from a business background back in Vietnam, so I already had that business mentality and that mindset in me already. Therefore, I ventured out to start my own business and started a wedding planning and flower design company. Then I started in e-commerce and selling children's clothing online. That was pretty hard. And then I had kids. And, when you have kids, everything just stopped, right? Everything that you had planned out for yourself, for your future, just stopped. And all my focus has been shifted. My priority is shifted to my boys. My husband and I have a lot of things planned for our family, for the boys and their future. And now that they're at 3 and 4, our family expenses is growing, and so is the living costs in California. So anyone who's living in California, you already know that our living costs is constantly increasing, right? But then because we chose the lifestyle to have me be a stay-at-home mom, my husband was the only provider. And it was really hard to save and to have extra every month to live a comfortable lifestyle. And then we knew that we needed to both have a job or work in order to have that lifestyle that we dreamed of building for our kids. But you know what? Working a traditional 9 to 5 was not an option for me. Maybe a part-time or a side hustle would do, but I needed that extra time, that time flexibility to be with my boys. So I was always looking for the ideal part-time and side hustle. Something that lets me work from home, so I can be around my kids, cook and clean, and maybe earn an extra 500 to 600 a month while I spend time with them, right? And then in 2020, I found this workshop like you did as well, and it was free to watch, so why not? So I was sitting in your space right now, just like you in 2020, and honestly, I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into. But since I learned that there was training available online 24/7 and mentorship availability, I mean, how hard can it be, right? So, just trust me, I've been through it all with my businesses. I started everything from scratch. I wore many hats while I was starting my business back then. I did everything myself without any help or advice from anyone at all. I created my own websites. I designed my own funnels. I learned through hundreds of videos on YouTube, spent hours trying to set up my email marketing system, which it did not work at all. And I spent hours and hours on Shopify, entering inventories, packaging, setting out products, and running here and there. At that moment, I thought like, wait, I wanted to be a business owner because I wanted to enjoy my life more. I wanted to work less and profit. But then I ended up losing money, time, and only gain stress. But you know what? Not all businesses are the same. And this business is definitely a game changer. When I started this business, my time availability wasn't a lot. I can only have about 1 to 2 hours a night to work in the business. But to my surprise, I was able to launch this business in a very short period of time. And I was able to utilize the system to handle everything in the back end for me. So I didn't have to compromise, extra time from my family. And when I first started it, I only spent about 1 to 2 hours a night. And now, after a year and a half, I still was able to maintain that 1 or 2 hours a day to manage my business. So, it's just something that's amazing that happened to my life that I didn't expect it to happen. So to my surprise, after a year working at the business, and I'm pretty sure you're questioning the earnings, what it's like, right? Well, I was only expecting to make 500 to $600 a month, but there are months when I'm making 4,000 in just one day, and it is beyond my expectation. So what is it about this business besides the incredible earnings and the amazing system? The most amazing part and the rewarding part of this business is I'm able to help many people out there to start a business. And I get so much support. The amount of support that comes in to my business from people all over the world is just phenomenal. And I really wish that I had found this business earlier. And we all know that in the end, we only regret the chances that we didn't take. So don't end up regretting that you didn't take the chances today. So thank you everyone for being here, and back to you, Karen.
Thank you so much, Gwen. I can totally relate with what you're saying as a small business owner before too. All right, so we're gonna move on to Anshuka.
Hi. Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Awesome. Okay. Hi, everybody. Namaskar. My name is Anshuka Tawakle, and I live with my family in Toronto, Canada. We are actually in Brampton, which is a suburb very close to Toronto, around 40-45 minutes. I'm originally from India. I'm a wife, my husband Amit, and we are almost 23 years of married life. And I am a teacher. I've been working from last 20 years, and I'm a mother. And we have three wonderful children. And as most parents can relate and understand, like for us, for me and my husband, our kids, our children, they are our heart and soul. So most of the decisions in life which we have taken keeping them in their mind, right? We want to give them the best of everything. So maybe that was one of the reasons that at the age of 45 in 2016, we migrated, left a very well-settled life back in Dubai, and we migrated to Canada. So as an immigrant, like it's not very easy to settle in a new place. My husband and myself, we had such a good career I was a teacher, my husband was a property manager, and we both had very good future, no experience and great education in our professional fields. But when we migrated to Canada, it was like we had to start all over again. So myself and my husband, we went back to school. We had three children. My son, he wanted to study in the university here. So that was one of the very reasons that we thought that, oh, he will be too young to fly away and move out of a nest. So we came here all together. So we started a struggle, and 2 years, myself and my husband, we were in school, we were studying, I was volunteering. And then most of the people, they were saying like, it's not easy to get back into your professional fields. So as a backup plan, we were working like I was working for retail industry on weekends. Same with Amit. Amit was also studying, and on the weekends we used to work. So we were like, we had seen those days when we were out all 7 days and our children were missing. We were missing on time with our family. We were not able to, no, we were feeling as if we are not able to give them the best that we thought when we migrated here that we'll be able to provide them. But anyhow, with the determination and hard work, we got back into our field, into our professions after 2 years. So once we were back in our professional fields, we knew that during our struggle time, we had used most of our savings. So we knew that we had to start building our savings again because we had to support our son for university education, and we never wanted him to take the stress of student loan or to worry about it. And moreover, we were in our 40s when we were 45 when we migrated here. So we wanted to retire at our age, and we also wanted to buy a house because we were feeling that the exorbitant amount of rent that we are paying, it's just like money going down the drain. So we knew that we had to work, do something extra. Though our jobs were very well paying, but we knew we have to do something extra so that we can start building our savings again. So I took up a job in an after school program, but those long working hours was like, was having a toll on my health. We were we were compromising on our family time. My girls, those who were in their teenage, so they were missing out, right? I was missing out time with them. They needed that one-on-one sometimes with me, and I was not there. And it was almost like our social life was also zero. So we thought that we'll have to look for something where I can work from home. And that's when I started looking, and we came across this online platform. Trust me, we came across several platforms, but then somewhere you had to sell products, and or you had to have an inventory. And since we were new to the country and new to these professions here in Canada, we had no time for all these things. So we were looking for something which we can give us more time and more flexibility. And it's when I was looking through it that I came across this ad on my newsfeed. And like you are watching this webinar, I also registered by adding my name and email, and I watched the webinar. And I found it interesting, and we decided to pay 149 and do more diligence, find out more about it. And trust me, guys, it was something that I was looking for, right? It gave me the flexibility. Now it's such a simple, what attracted me to this business was that it was simple plug-in system, which works on automation. So most of the work was done, and it gave me the flexibility that I can do it from anywhere. So now while we are traveling, now while I'm in my school, during my planning time, in my breaks, I can easily run the business just because of the automation and the simple system. And the other thing was that it had a very comprehensive, good training, step by step, easy to follow training, that I felt like it's a kind of a wholesome package. I don't have to buy another special program or spend more money to buy the training. So it was an overall thing that everything was under, like you can say, one umbrella. So that was something that really prompted us to take the decision. We watched the webinar, and when we listened to the stories and the real and genuine people, that gave us the confidence, and we jumped into it. So it's been now 2 years, and I'm so grateful, and daily I thank God for showing me this, because now we are living such a wonderful life. We are able to give the best to our kids. My daughters, they are taking the activities, they are pursuing their dreams, they are like, we are able to give them what they want, and we are supporting our son with their education. And we know that now within 10 years we'll be able to retire. Like, we don't have to work longer, 15 to 20 years, just to know. And remember, I work here as an occasional teacher. That means I don't get paid for summer vacations and the winter break. And that is the most expensive time where you want to spend a lot of, right? There are so many things that you want to do and you spend. But now we are enjoying even those days, right? Earlier my goal was that I want to become a permanent teacher, but now because of this business, I've got this flexibility that I want to enjoy my profession, because I love being with students. So I'm enjoying my teaching career just, and enjoying my life with my family and giving them the best. So definitely, I would say that your profession and everything is replaceable, but your time with your family is something that you do not want to replace. So make sure that you take a decision keeping them in mind, so that you can get the time and the flexibility that you're looking for. In case you are happy with whatever you are doing, then I'm so happy for you. But otherwise, this is something that you must definitely worth checking out. So that's all from me. Thank you everybody for listening. And thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Anshuka. Thank you so much for sharing your story and what inspired you to took on this business. Next, I'm going to bring on Shannon.
Hey there. Thank you, Karen. So I'm Shannon. I am originally from a small town in northwestern Ontario. I now live in southern Alberta with my husband. I have 2 little boys. We just got a golden retriever puppy this summer, which has been super fun. And I used to be a wedding planner. So I run my own wedding planning business for about 12 years. which was great when the kids were little, and then it wasn't so great once they kind of hit school age. And you know, summers, weekends are very wedding heavy, and it just wasn't working for our family anymore. So I went on the look for something else, and I felt really stuck because I was making a very good income with my wedding business. And I had a lot of flexibility. I mean, yes, you had to plan way in advance, but I could say yes or no to things I wanted to do. I, you know, got to book meetings when I wanted to book meetings. I could pick the kids up from school and drop them off and all that kind of stuff. So I needed something that was flexible. So I went out on the hunt and was looking for a few things, and I found this and I got super excited, and I paid my $149, and I was, you know, told my husband, and he was not excited. So he was just very skeptical about it, and he wasn't, you know, it was something that I just found. We didn't know anybody else who was doing this. You know, it was something I just found on the internet, so we didn't know. And so I let him sit with it for a little bit, and I did my due diligence and checked everything out. And finally I said to him, I said, this is working for way too many people for me to not try this for myself and for us, for our family. And so he's like, yeah, okay, you know, do what you got to do. And so I did, and I jumped in, and I got super excited. I went through my training, probably took me 3 weeks to get through. I'm a night owl, and I think that's kind of a mom thing. That's when the kids are asleep, and that's when I had time to get things done uninterrupted. So I would spend, you know, a couple hours each night going through the training, got everything set up on my end, and yeah. And then I think for my husband, I think it was really just that he needed to see something tangible and know that this was real. And so it was when the first check arrived in the mail, which was about a month in, and he got to hold that check in his hand, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah. So what else do you have to do here? And he was, you know, right in it then. So he just needed to, I guess, see the proof, which I think is valid. But this summer, we love to travel, and we've been a little closer to home, but, you know, we rented some cabins on the beach this summer. We went to go see my parents and our in-laws, and we were gone for 4 of the 8 weeks of our summer break that the kids were off school. And I said, if I was doing weddings still, there was no way that I would be able to have done that. Absolutely not. Impossible. And the fun and exciting part was that every time we came back from a vacation, we would go to the mailbox, and there was checks in there, like $3,000-$4,000 worth of checks. And so that was very exciting for me. That was very exciting. The kids were excited. My husband was excited. Everyone was always happy to come back and check the mail. So that was fun. And when I was doing weddings, I used to joke with my husband. I said, like, if I could just clone myself, because, you know, you can only, when you're in the service industry, if you're not working, you're not getting paid, and there's only so much you can do as one person, and there's only so many weekends in a summer and in a year for weddings. And so I said, you know, I need to clone myself. And with this business, I actually feel like I kind of have, because it doesn't, like, I can be, you know, it's running 24/7 in the background, and I can be sleeping and wake up and things have happened. I can be on vacation and come home to checks, and, you know, it's continuously working in the background. So, you know, in the presentation, Mike talked about scaling, and I said, like, this business, because it's online, has grown exponentially, and that's how you scale in the online world. And I know that there is no way working the job that I was before that I would be where I am now, or be where I'm going, because I'm still growing in this, right? I just started in the end of 2019. So I just know that would have not been possible in an offline biz, like in my offline business. And I know that it has been in this one. So that's been very, very exciting. It is a business that changes lives, and people have changed their circumstances because of this business. And it's super, super exciting to see. I'm so happy to be a part of it. My biggest payday has probably been, it was a 2-day payday, and I made almost $9,000. And that's happened again and again. So it's been super exciting. For me, when I jumped in, and I know it's kind of a cliche saying, but like, life is short. And I went through breast cancer when I was 27 years old. My husband and I were newlyweds. It was a very scary time in our lives. but it just gave me some perspective and just, made me realize I don't want to be doing something that I don't love. And I want to spend time with my kids. At the time I didn't have kids, now I do. But I want my best years with my kids and my husband. And I don't want to be spending 9 to 5 or more 12-hour wedding days, working for somebody else and doing other things. I want to be in control of my time. So when I saw that it was a 30-day refund, if you can check it out for 30 days and see if it's a fit. To me, that was a no-brainer because I was like, okay, I get to check this out and there's no risk. Like there's no risk in just taking a look. So for me, that was super exciting, but I'm loving it. My husband is now my biggest fan because he loves to go check the mailbox. But yeah, I think it's, if anybody's curious, then for sure they should check it out because like I said, there's no risk to doing that. So thank you so much for having me on tonight and have a great night.
Thank you so much, Shannon. And I'm so happy that this business has allowed you to, have those summers or those weekends with your family, your kids now, because you know what, we can always make more money, but you can't just take back those time that you've missed. So I'm just so happy for you. Next, I'm going to call on Yung. Come on up.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I'm Dung Nguyen, originally from Vietnam, and actually I'm currently live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, back in 2019. So, like my profession is the sustainability industry, and I worked in that industry for more than like 18 years. And I mostly spend a lot of time in traveling and working, up to like 80% of my time. So although I work in the like sustainability industry, however, my work schedules were not sustainable at all. So I missed most of like family events due to my heavily traveling schedule, and I used to like miss my kids or join my family events through like online, through Skype or phone. Or even though, like my kids, they told me that they wish my job were a teacher. Instead of like doing something with like a lot of traveling, because they believe that their teacher could understand them well or like better than I. So I feel very guilty, but I need to like I thought that I have to earn living because I'm like the main people to earn living in my home. So, but I look for like opportunity to own a business so that I can stay home, run my business, and like I don't need to work for anyone else. So like I have invest in different businesses, like I run the factory, and also I run different company like service provider or like traveling service. I did so many things, and I also work at the like the freelancer auditor and a consultant, but like although I invested in so many businesses, but I failed because like even though I have like business experience, but I did not actually invest enough into the business, in the marketing, in everything. And like I end up to work at a freelance auditor or consultant in the last like 7 years, and I spent a lot of time traveling for like report writing, and also like did everything that you can name it. Luckily, like few months after like immigrating to Canada, so like because I did not have my family here to help me taking care of my son who were 10 years old at that time. So I'm trying to look for something that I can work from home so that I can take care of him. luckily I found this business. I also set in the same webinar at this one, and I jumped into I actually bought for I buy in immediately and they for 149. And why my husband, he was very skeptical at that time. He told me most of the time he just like whisper on my ear, it won't work, it won't work, this scam, everything like that. However, like I did not have anything to lose because I believe that if I don't try this one or I try other thing, I need to find something that works for me. After the webinar, so I found that actually this one meet most of my research criteria for like the business that I'm looking for years. Then I decided to do this one, and I'm also the user of this system since 2019, and till then I run the business. And I just spend at the very beginning I spend more time reading the training and set up my business, and it took me 3 weeks to went through on the training and set up the business. And I spend more time at the very beginning. However, currently I just spend around 2 hours a day with this business. And about the income, so my big payday is up to $4,000 a day, which equal to half month of my income when I do the audit. But I don't need to have that to work or to look for the audit job daily, or I don't need to stay very late, like with 3-4 hours of sleep a day and 7 days a week to complete the audit service that I offer to my client. So I love this business because actually I am equipped with everything I need for the business. Although I'm not a tech savvy, I'm not good at marketing, and also the most thing that I love that I actually not run the business alone. I have the community, I have my own mentor, coach who help me to run the business also. And actually I was trained and certified at the business course also. Then I also can help more and more people to set up and run this business successfully. Yeah, so that is my my journey in this digital business. And yeah, thank you for listening.
Thank you, Yung, for sharing with us tonight your journey so far. I'm excited for, what unfolds for you in the future here. So next, I'm going to bring on Shafeli and Abhijit all the way from Australia.
Hi. Thank you, Karen. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having us, first of all. And I'm Abhijit.
Hi, I'm Shafali.
We're living in Sydney, Australia, and we've been doing this business since July of 2020. I've been in the corporate world for about 14 years now.
And I've been a senior physiotherapist who's been working in the industry for the past 12 years. So the reason why we started this business was that when I had my daughter, and while I was in maternity leave, I realized that, I was not ready to go back for physically demanding full-time physiotherapy work. And, as a new mother, I wanted to invest as much time in my daughter while she was growing up. So we needed something that was long-term, like a solution, and, that would give us the time and financial flexibility as well. However, we were looking at many things, and amongst them, we couldn't find the right fit for our family. And then something drastic happened.
Yeah, so basically last year, I was one of the 300 staff in my organization who was laid off. And this is pretty much common across all the retail industry. So, we were all struggling at the time. And in spite of having the necessary professional skills and having the experience for so many years, I actually found it really tough to find employment, and it actually took me about 5 months to find my next job. And during this time, it led to a lot of anxiety in the family itself, and also in terms of health, it started slipping for me. And we have a mortgage as well, and officially we entered mortgage stress during that time. So it was a really daunting moment. And I still remember one of the days I was at home, I was sitting on the couch and a bit, sad, obviously, due to circumstances. And my daughter walked up to me and she saw me in my situation, and, a tear kind of shed through her cheek. And it was probably a defining moment for both of us then, that we had to do something at the time. So yeah, to keep our head above water, Shefali actually started doing extra shifts. She is a frontline health professional as well. So during the most difficult time for the professionals in the industry, she was working longer hours too.
Yeah, exactly. So then last year in July, I came across this opportunity, and we both could resonate with it, as it was a flexible business and we could see ourselves doing it for a long term. And the best was that, we could call it our own and pass it on to the next generation. So the things that we liked about it was that we didn't have to be tech savvy or have any, prior business background. And also that, it was a long-term thing that we could do. And the best part was that there was no bugging anyone and no selling at all.
So look, I mean, we're pretty much up and running in the first couple of weeks. The training is really simple, like the presenter spoke about before. It's broken up into really simple video-based modules, so anyone can follow it and do it anytime. And we actually saw results in the first month. We were really surprised. And since then, it's been pretty consistent as well. Shefali's actually attained one of her goals. So she has started working part-time now. She's spending more quality time with our daughter, taking care of her needs, helping out with her education and whatever she requires. And, in terms of achievement, we fast-tracked our mortgage payments as well. So we're really happy with that. And one of our big goals, which we always had, is we wanted to reunite with our parents. So being migrants, we've been able to actually sponsor both sets of our parents now. And we hope to be with them very soon in the near term because of this business. And, I just wanted to share a small story if we have time. As a family, we're really big on travel. And pretty much since we've got married, we've been traveling extensively every year. And almost last year, we decided that we won't be traveling. And due to the business blessings, we pretty much again decided, yeah, we can take that trip. And we went to the South Coast in a nice beachy town. And on the last day of the trip, when we were returning back, right, we stopped by an entertainment arcade. And we entered, it was a couple of floors and it was bustling. There was a lot of kids and families there. And my daughter actually spotted a vending machine. And, that vending machine has a lot of soft toys and games for kids. So she insisted that we play that. And there was something which caught her attention there. And, so me and my wife, we started taking turns. We bought these counters. We started playing. And long behold, we ran through all of our counters and we reached our last token. And luckily enough, when we had this crawler, it went down and it grabbed hold of something in the machine. And that thing came down and it was a rainbow ball. And we gave it to our daughter and she just went so excited. She went ballistic. She just started screeching. Pretty much all the kids and families looking at her. And I think we haven't seen her more happier than that ever in our life before. And I think as a family, we've kind of created the best memory in our lifetime.
Yes, absolutely. So for us, this is it. And we are not going to look anywhere else. And the last thing that we would like to say to everyone that's watching is that it's not by accident that you're here and you're watching this. It's God's will. He's showing you the way. So, take the leap of faith. You have nothing to lose at all.
So thank you for your time. Back to you, Karen.
Thank you, Shefali and Abhijit. You know what? That is just the reality we're living in today. There is no such thing as job security anymore. And especially with what's happened around the world in the last year and a half, people are losing their job. So then, so we all need a plan B, something to get, to supplement our income or provide for our family. Okay, last but not least, Katie, let's bring it home.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Karen. Wow, I don't even know how to follow up these amazing presentations. Honestly, I'm super inspired, and I feel like I've connected with every single person who said something on the panel tonight, because I just feel like I'm so in the right place at the right time. And I think that anybody who's watching tonight, you are too, just like we've been talking about. So anyway, my name is Katie. I live on Vancouver Island in Canada. I have a husband. I have 3 kids, and we just got a really adorable kitten. And I don't know if they're on here somewhere. But yeah, so I moved to Canada about 12 years ago from the States. So I also have kind of a similar story from many people who have, found themselves in a new country, where I was sponsored for 2 years before I got my permanent residency here. And I was very, very grateful for that job experience, but it was not something that was necessarily in my field. So when I did get my PR, I was able to kind of free up my options a little bit more. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. So we did end up getting a brick and mortar franchise, and I ran that. I was the owner operator, and it was, kind of like a dream of mine, actually, because I felt for the first time like I was doing something that was really, I was passionate about, and I had something to put my name on that I was really proud of. And at the end of the day, the numbers just weren't lining up. I mean, there were months where we ended up dipping into our savings to make sure that payroll was covered. We were covering the inventory and everything. And it was like, all those times that I did get to go away because I was the boss, I had to hire people and make sure that the store front was running while I was gone, or else nothing was coming in. And so it was not what I expected when I signed on to be a business owner. There were a lot of hidden things that were less than ideal. And it just wasn't really working out for us. So after about 6 years, baby number 3 was on the way, and we got to a really, really hard place where we decided it was time to walk away from that business. It just wasn't sustainable for me to be able to put in the time and care and dedication to the business that I needed to do while I was taking care of my young children. So there was a long grieving process for that, but I did kind of work through it. And eventually, after about a year, I decided that I was ready to kind of get back out there, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, because once you're a business owner, it's like, it's kind of weird to put that on your resume. It's like, oh, I used to own my own business. Who's your reference? Like, well, it's me. So you're kind of in this weird gap where you're getting back into the workforce. You're not really sure what it is that you want to do, and you really don't want to work for somebody else. But I needed to do something. So my husband actually is a chef, and he works he does like a lot of contracting and things like that. And he actually goes away for the summer to work at a fishing lodge. And so he's gone for anywhere between 8 to 11 weeks out of the year, and I'm at home with the kids. So you throw that into a schedule and you say, well, I'm only available, 8 months out of the year, and no pro D days and no vacations, and not on the weekends. And it's like pretty much impossible to try and get hired. So my friend actually told me about this online business that she started, and it was this one. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great for you. Good luck. I hope we don't have to stage an intervention. Like, I was kind of worried. But it seemed, after I was watching her, that she was actually really doing well in it. And, her lifestyle was changing. She was always really happy. She was excited. Her personality was even just like a little bit brighter every time I saw her. And I was like, what is going on with you? And she said, it's this business. You really should just check it out. And so I did. So I watched the webinar you're watching now, and I was like, this is it. It was like, I totally had my aha moment. It was like when Garrett said that line in the sand, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And now it's really, really clear to me that I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm going to get started on it now. And so I did. And I just jumped right in because I was like super skeptical, but I also had a friend who was already succeeding in it. So I saw the proof with what she was doing. And, I had so much faith in the system after seeing what when we get into the details. I'm a big research person. So as I learned more, I just got more and more excited about it. So I just really can't, and then the other thing too, of course, everybody wants to know about the money. So like, so far my best months have surpassed what I was making in a week. My biggest paycheck has been $2,100 in a day, which is more than I ever made in a month of my other job. So, it's been a really exciting time for me and my family as well. And so I just encourage you to be curious and, find out more information. You're already here. You're already curious. So get the research that you need to be able to make the right decision for you and for your family. And you're going to have a mentor every step of the way to help you as you grow in this business. So dig deep, reach out, and let's get started.
Thank you, Katie. Well, folks, that brings us to just about the completion of tonight's presentation. I hope that you have found that interesting and exciting. I hope that that it inspired you, and I hope that it have motivated you. But more than anything, I hope that it have opened your eyes to just what is possible and how accessible the online world can actually be, with a little bit of help from the experts, of course. Well, congratulations to each and every one of you that have clicked on that button and already paid your $149. I'm super excited for all of you. But before we go, one last thing that I'll mention is that, we have seen some of you already paying with a payment type that is different from the name that you're using online. So if this is you, please be sure to let your coach know both of the names that you have used. You'll be getting an email from us introducing you to your coach. So your coach is the person that's going to connect you to our community and does that one-on-one call with you. And if they don't know your name that you've used to purchase, then it makes it really, really hard for them to do their jobs. So when you friend your coach online, be sure to let them know both of the names that you have used. That's it, folks. We're done for the night. So these are your first steps. Pay that $149, watch those videos, and get plugged into our community. These are the exact same first step in a journey that I can tell you from my own experience that can change your life. I can't wait to hear your success story. Good night for now, and I'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody.